What's up, everybody? Wednesday night, and we're back. Double episode today of the Ragni Show. Now, I'm going to be talking with the one and only Mr. Matt Nardo of Leviathan Project, as well as, you know, uh, American Sugar Bitch. And here's the Matt. First off, how the hell you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Could you imagine? I remember American Sugar Bitch, the name of the band. Could you imagine sitting around a table and your grandmother asks you, what's the name of your group? And I have to say, "Oh, it's American Sugar Bitch." We at the time, your 20s, you don't really think about that stuff, and now it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, we had a good run. That was almost 20 years in that band.
So when you say that to your grandmother, now I'm going to tie in the conversation we were just having off air. Does she say, "Matt, you're special"?
Hmm. I think maybe special, like special. I don't know about
Yeah.
short bus special, maybe,
Uh,
I think everybody that knows me thinks I'm special in that regard, Ask ask a bunch of people. But
so,
no, it's I don't know. I feel like everybody's got their talents.
well, and I'm going to be straight up honest with you, Matt. I think this might be like the first conversation we had right before we went on air, and we've pretty much probably have known each other for maybe almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
Through all the American Sugar Bitch stuff and all, and I'm a huge fan of Dave Weakley and the whole Teeze Roughhouse crew, and um, so when Dave had a Sugar Bitch going, I started coming out and seeing you guys, and I always said to myself, who's the young kid? Like, where did he come from? And I never knew the answer. So I'm going to ask you now. Where the hell did you come from, Matt? How did you get hooked up with Dave Weakley and end up as a part of American Sugar Bitch?
Wow. Somewhere in from the hot sin beds of Delaware / Maryland. No, I'm kidding. It's funny. When I met Dave, it was through first guitar player. And, I remember going down the beach and we were all like, it was like a heathen week situation where,
Okay.
5 guys, we'd go down to like Ocean City, Maryland. And at the time, this guy that was in the band, I said, "Hey, what do you," he goes, "Yeah, we're just trying to get this thing together, American Sugar Bitch or whatever." We didn't even have the name. They didn't even have the name yet. It was something right before I came in. And I just said, "Hey, if you need a bass player, like I'll try out for it." I was a guitar player forever and ever.
Huh.
My first band, you ready for this? It was a progressive rock cover band
Okay.
called Opus. Yeah. So we would do stuff like Yes, Rush. I kind of cut my teeth on, all that stuff. Even like Billy Joel, some weird progressive, stuff when it came to that. So I kind of did a lot of that, and on the guitar first.
Okay.
So that's how I got my start. And then when I went to the Kismet moment, when I finally met Dave Weakley, we just hit it off right away. I didn't even know anything about Teeze, Roughhouse, nothing.
Wow.
But we were just talking, and I think he enjoyed that. And we started to basically write stuff like on the spot together. We've always had that relationship. He's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, it's probably too, like, it was probably a breath of fresh air for him, because I'm sure he probably would experience so many people that knew him from that, and were thinking we're going to do like something that's similar to that, and
Yeah.
it was totally different.
Yeah, exactly. And my friend who was in the band, named Joe, we had he really helped me kind of cut my teeth on the recording process. And like we were writing stuff like here and there. I would just interject some ideas and do backup vocals and things like that. So it was a good collaboration. And then, after Joe left, first guitar player, none other than Tommy Crash comes into the band. Like that
I
segment?
remember. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. Wait, now that's a dude, and he was actually one. like when he was in the band, like when I would come out and see you guys, like me and him had gotten pretty tight. Like we used to sit and talk
Yeah.
at the shows. And, like we would talk for hours just talking music, and we would have the funnest conversations. Um, and then it was just kind of like, he was out of the band, and it was like, well,
Yeah.
where did Tommy go? And then haven't heard nothing from him. And then all of
He's-
a sudden,
yeah.
this whole thing starts popping up. Like a year ago, start seeing a little teaser here, a little teaser there. I'm like, oh, he's
Yeah.
back.
He's always been, he's an incredibly sharp guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been feeling our way through this, navigating the waters of the music business, the small piece of music business, but still
Right.
we've been learning together. And he does like a lot of the audio visual stuff and all of that, plus the music. He writes, puts the structure together.
Right.
Kind of like with Dave. Dave was the same. I've always been like the icing cat.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Lyrics, melody. Very rarely have I've written a couple songs in my life, but usually I don't have the patience to sit there and write, like the whole thing, kit and caboodle, verse, chorus, bridge, middle eight, whatever. When I do, it's cool. Usually it's a successful tune, but like successful from the, selling like 20 albums at the local out of your trunk, but you know what I mean?
Right. So now how'd this whole thing come to be? Like, were you and Tommy like all along still screwing around and writing stuff, or
he fell off the face of the earth, man?
Yeah, that's
right?
what it was. Like, he really did.
Yeah, and I knew that he moved to Florida. He's in Orlando now. He's based out of Orlando, and
Okay.
He was working when I knew him. He was in Jersey, and I remember going and cutting a Sugar Bitch CD over there with him and his garage basically turned studio, which was a cool spot. But yeah, I mean, I think I remember doing. I don't know if you remember those like little. It wasn't an ADAT, but it was like a small like mini hard disk kind of recording thing.
Oh,
hey, man, would you do some vocals? I'm putting together a song on the band. I guess his group was Sin.
Yes.
Yeah, and he had me sing background vocals. So I think that kind of stuck in his mind, for backgrounds, for melody, things like that. Okay. And lo and behold, I get a phone call. I get a couple of phone calls, actually. We start working on some stuff that he was doing, just like he calls it junk rock.
Okay.
So it's like punky, kind of like, just he's a really quirky writer. If anybody out there knows Tommy Crash and some of his material. And he was in Britney Fox, of course. Mm-hmm. But he's always kind of been a good catalyst. I think we work really well together.
Okay.
And he just said, Matt, we did an experimentation, a couple songs he was working on. And he threw some lyrics and melody to me on those collaborations. It worked out. It was pretty successful. And he liked what I had come up with. He would have the song, he'd have some lyrics, and he'd have a melody, but he'd say, hey, could you sing on it? And also just, like rewrite some of the lyrics here and there. Just do what you want with them. And that was kind of a litmus test, I think, for him, and then lo and behold, we come to this, the reason why I'm on tonight.
Yeah. So this like really surprised me. Like you had said, like, he kind of fell off the face of the earth. and then, like I said, I guess it was a year, maybe even a little earlier than a year ago. I started seeing these things start popping up. Leviathan Project, Tim the Ripper Owens. I'm like, what the hell is this? And how did this come to be? And what the hell is going on here? So, then some EPs get released. A full length gets released the other day. So, was it you and Tommy then doing all the writing for this, or?
So yeah, Tim wrote one song with us on there.
Okay.
But Tommy basically, he made the whole, like he's the structure guy. So he did amazing rhythm guitar stuff. He plays keys. I did some keys. We kind of just did, whatever, my role in it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I guess through Chris Aiken, who does Classic Metal Show.
Okay.
Chris introduced Tommy because he said, "Hey, I've got some great metal stuff." He was trying. How it came about is Tommy was trying to get basically to cop. He just during the Corona thing, he was like bored out of his mind, and he tried to just cop like thrash guitar parts.
Okay.
Okay. And are you getting an echo, by the way?
No.
No. Okay.
Am I echoing to you?
I'm echoing. I feel like. Do you want me to grab phones?
If you want to. If you want to.
I will. Hold that thought. Let me see. Sorry, technical difficulties, folks. I'll bring out my $9.95 dime store. Let's see if this works. Hope nobody saw my PJs. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to try this and see.
Okay.
Just in case, if you listen back, I know you've had. All right, can you hear me there?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. There we go.
Okay.
Cool. So Tommy was trying to work on getting thrash guitar tones. All right, he had a couple of songs that he had been working on, and Chris Aiken was like, hey, I'll introduce you to Ripper. I'll give you his email. I think Tommy wanted somebody that could sing in the higher register, like Exodus kind of, one of those, like a thrashy type of thing. But the stuff that he was writing had, a potential for a lot of melody.
Yeah.
So he finally gets in touch with Ripper, and Ripper's not doing anything, because of the Corona thing. He's basically making his living any way he can, which is what I would do too if I did musicianship, was a musician full time. So what happened was Tommy, he said, "Hey, I have 3 songs," and Ripper's like, "Give me the songs, give me the lyrics for it and the melody." And Tommy was thinking to himself, "Oh crap, I don't have lyrics. Like I have some lyrics, and I don't really have a lot of like great melody for this." Wow. So he basically, he called me up. I remember him frantically trying. He called me a couple times, right? And I was like, "What? Did somebody die? Like, what the hell's going on?" Right? And finally he goes, "Hey, do you have a minute to talk? Sorry, I know I've been calling you a lot." I was like, "No, man, go ahead, lay it on me." And he told me the whole story, and I was like, "All right, we'll send the stuff over." So I think we started out with the first one was Leviathan, and I kind of just retooled his lyrics, and I did the ghost vocal for it.
Okay.
And that's how that came into existence. And the cool thing was, the next day, Tommy sends that over, and Ripper just sang the shit out of it, and he didn't really change any melody. So that was cool. Wow. The fact that I kind of went and did the melody stuff for that, and some of the lyrics, and he could have changed it. He doesn't want to put his name on something that So anyway, it was a really cool feeling.
That's sad. That's badass because you think this is going to get handed off to him, and he's going to come back saying, I wanted to change this and change that, and yeah. As much as you would probably agree in the long run with him, it still like kind of deflates your own personal ego a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, if it sucked, he would have let me know. He would have let Tommy know, Now, he had some input on a song called It's Their World, which Tommy kind of borrowed from one of my songs called Waves. And of course, he wrote other parts too. Tommy's a master. He'll hear something that I had in my catalog or whatever, which is few and far between. But he'll be like, wow, that's really cool. Do you mind if I just steal that and then use it for a song? And at first it was, we were like, the song was called Waves. And then Tommy just sent it over to Tim. And I think we did some lyrics, and Tim decided just to basically rewrite the lyrics.
Wow.
And stuff. So that was cool. I have to tell you, at first my ego was like, oh man, like, okay, he's just going to change everything. You get like demo-itis sometimes.
Sure.
From things. I think that's a real thing. Arthritis, demo-itis, the whole thing. But in the end, Tommy was like, look, man, this guy thought enough about it to rewrite it.
Yeah.
Write the lyrics and become more involved than just being a session singer.
That's what I was going to say. It's not like he was just like, I mean, and I hate to put it this way, but it's not like he was just cashing a check.
Yeah.
He really it sounds like wanted to, be a true part of this.
Yeah, I think Tommy had to sell his wife's jewelry and, stuff like that. I'm kidding. No, but he made some sacrifices. We did, so I'm sorry, I should stop there. Do you have any other questions about the beginning part of it,
Well,
or?
well, how about even when Tommy gives you that phone call and says, "Look, I got in touch with Tim the Ripper Owens." What's your initial reaction? Like, were you expecting that at all? Did you have any idea he was reaching out to him?
Not one iota. I was floored. I was like, wow, because I remember I went to see like I think it was at the Tower. No, Electric Factory. I saw the Jugulator tour
Okay.
when Priest first came out, and I remember being there. I think that was '97, and I was like, man, this guy is incredible.
Hmm.
And I just remember his. I always loved Halford. He's the metal god, but
Right.
I thought that they were one of the first ones to really, look at the internet and find somebody who was in a tribute band,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Journey followed and
Yeah.
yada yada. But I think, and then they made that rock star movie. Of course, Priest disowned that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was cheesy, but I
I do
still like
too.
it.
It's like a guilty pleasure of mine. I know.
Yeah. But no, I was floored. I was like, okay, well, this is what they always say about opportunity. Like opportunity knocks, this is it. So I put
Yeah.
in some late nights and but look, I mean, I was home.
Right.
I get my rump downstairs. I do it. I go back upstairs, 2 flights of stairs, go to sleep, come back to work in the morning, just same room.
That's it.
I mean, it's basically the dream, you know.
So how about like you said when he sent the first song over that you did ghost vocals on and all. Uh, you personally, were you like nervous?
No, you know what? I really wasn't. I looked at it as this is another tune, like Dave. I've been working with Dave. I did some mixing for him and stuff. So
Hmm.
when like I said, I'm the icing guy. So I go in and for some reason, I just start like it's at night, usually for me. Mean like a lot of musicians, they do that, but like I just roll, I'm in that zone. It might
Right.
be like 2:30 in the morning, I'm done, or 3 o'clock in the morning, but that was my thing. I just kept working just slowly, one verse, write the lyrics, chorus, write that.
Hmm.
That's done. Copy paste. Nowadays it's like copy paste stuff.
Right.
You know, but no, it was to answer your question seriously. I really wasn't. I didn't know where this thing was going to go.
Yeah. So at that point, like when you find out he's going to be involved, what exactly are you thinking? Are you thinking like, is this going to be just which what is it? Is it just a project? Is
Right.
it going to be a band? Is there going to be shows? Like, are you guys still even asking yourself what the hell's going on, or what is it?
Yeah, I mean, he's Ripper's now with KK's Priest, and
Right.
they released an album, and that's gone over, fairly well, I'm sure. But
Hmm.
I still don't think people are touring on that. I
Right.
thought that there was a way that, and I don't know for sure, but I heard whisperings of the Maiden tour or something for that because they've always kind of been friends, with the Priest.
Yeah.
But not at first. I heard they were trying to sabotage, Priest was trying to sabotage Maiden. They were the young upstarts in the beginning. But I think they grew and they toured together and stuff, and they had a
Hmm.
mutual respect. But yeah, the second tune was called Solar Storm.
Okay.
And that one, basically, Tommy's like, I have the music. It's done. I need lyrics and melody, everything.
Hmm.
And I just went to work on that one. That was maybe like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks later,
Wow.
maybe a month later. Did that one. And then we had Bobby Coble of the band. He played with Death
Hmm.
on Symbolic, which is one of their big records from the Death camp,
Right.
perspective. But that didn't sound too good. Sorry. But he's amazing. And Tommy, he wanted a shrapnel guy. Like he wanted somebody that was a surgeon on the leads.
Okay.
I'm more of a Shanker guy. I'm more bluesy,
Hmm.
like Gary Moore. Those are my heroes, But I think he was talking like a Paul Gilbert or a Greg Howe or somebody like that,
Okay.
And I think with Bobby, he's just an amazing, amazing musician. He's actually a jazz instructor.
Oh, wow.
So we kind of got him into the loop, and he did the leads. I only did a couple leads, like one's an instrumental called Drifting that I did the leads on that, but I played a lot of bass on the stuff. And
Okay.
you know, that's my baby right there. I remember going with Dave Weakley to Guitar Center and getting that thing. It was a 73. He's like, yeah, that's the one you want, because he has the same thing.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, right?
getting one like him, right?
It's just totally beat up, you know. But yeah. So anyway, to make a long story longer, all right. Then we had the whole. So there's a guy named Chip Ruggieri, who is Chipster PR. So he does Sabbath, Priest, like a lot of that. We kind of, so Tommy knew him, I think, from the Britney Fox days.
Yes.
Okay. And he was like, hey, well, you know, of course, Chip is like billable hours, you know. I mean, look, the guy he doesn't do stuff for free.
Right.
You know? So it's funny, like everybody goes, oh, you got a record deal, you got this and that. You know, we shelled some shekels out for that, you know. Don't tell my wife, but anyway. But no, you know, that you had to pay for the time, and I had to convince TK. I was like, you know, hey, he goes, I don't want to pay this guy. Like, I don't want to pay this guy. And I said, you know what? I think that we should, you know, because he answered the email. We've got him on the hook for this. You know, let's just do it. It really wasn't that much in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
And, you know, people are they provide your services. So I remember we just, you know, we PayPal'd him or whatever. You know, we kind of split the difference. That's the great thing about TK too. He comes to me and he'll say, oh, you know, we've got this going on. You know, I can contribute. You know, it's true halvesies right down the middle. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And he's a dream to work with. I think he feels that way too in this project, because I think he calls people mental patients sometimes, you know, trying to get in this business, you know, trying to get, like, we have real jobs. You know, TK, he works as a high school graphics teacher.
Okay.
You know, and, you know, we have deliverables, you know, it's real life. So if somebody says to me, hey, I need this by this time, I kick into that mode, you know. And I feel like I'm generalizing here, so sorry for the musicians out there, but I feel like, you know, musicians fly on their own time a lot of times, you know, but it's a business, and you've really got to just, you know, if you say you know you need this by such and such a day, or, you know. So TK has this way where I'll say, hey, I'll get it to you by the end of the week. And he'll just reach out. I'll get a text message. Hey, how's that? How you coming on that? Because he goes stir crazy.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to complete this stuff. And you know what? That's really helped me a lot. Because I was, you know, talent is lazy. Lazy. People always ask me, why don't you front your own group or whatever? And I'm like, oh, man, I just don't even... I can't even fathom that. Like, you know, I'm the icing guy. Just what do you need? You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot to run your own thing, you know, and I just have never really been into it, you know. But anyway, he got the Chip. All right. We got Chip, and Chip said, all right, Monday morning, you know, we had paid him on Friday. Monday morning, he goes, I got you a meeting with Deco. Just like that.
Like that.
You know? He saw the legs. Also, I think he knew that he would get a PR, you know, scope, a job out of that too. So, of course, that's smart business, you know.
Absolutely.
And there's a Priest connection. He's worked with Tim in the past before. Tim has a lot of projects.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the thing I like about this one, though, is that there's a lot of melody.
Well, this one, like, as I was listening to it, I mean, it naturally has that classic metal sound, that classic Priest sound, but it does have a lot of melody. And I mean, in reality, I honestly wasn't expecting it. Like, at first, I was expecting just true metal, and then I was like, well, wow, like, this is kind of like, it's almost like at times it's like Rainbow with Dio, and you know, it goes like all different. It's not just, you know what I mean? It's not just a one-horse pony. There's different elements to it, and it shocked me. It really did.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that, you know, and Tommy always says this about me. He says, you're like the Lou Gramm / Don Dokken of metal. Like, you know, it's AOR. basically is where my heart and soul is. Like, and ASB, you know, Dave was more like the Buzzcocks punk, you know, and I was Billy Idol, or I was, you know, whatever. I grew up on, my God, I think the first musical memory I had was like Little River Band.
Wow.
You know, I mean, crazy, right?
Yeah.
You know,
and look
so
where that led you.
right. I know it's weird, but you know, the whole point to that is that, you know, it's melody, you know, it's just ingrained. So, I can't help it. I try to write like angry stuff, you know, and I just have never been good at that. You know?
I can't picture you having like that angry bone inside you,
right? You know, like that.
to bring that out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can get there. I mean, you know, Dave has to kind of wrangle me down sometimes, you know, but I think that it's like 5 minutes and then it's over. You know, I think that we do that. So I think Tommy wanted that component there as well, because the early Priest is a lot of melody.
Yeah.
You know, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sin After Sin, or the old, you know, even Unleashed in the East, you know, there's so much melody in that. Victim of Changes, you know, so we wanted to, I think people were hungering for Tim to do some of that, you know. I know, and he did Yngwie and stuff too, like he was on an Yngwie record, Iced Earth, but you know, again, you know, it's lyrical content. What we're trying to come from here is like Leviathan could be drug addiction.
Right.
You know, it could be, there's a lot of different things, I think, that in those lyrics that could pull you into different directions and relate to the human condition, I think, a little more. You know,
that's deep.
Yeah, I mean, all right, enough of that garbage. Anyway, now, but I remember one of the proudest moments that I had was I'm sitting there doing my, you know, my insurance job, you know, down here looking at the 2 screens or whatever I have, and I get a text message, you know, Deco wants to move forward, you know, and this is you know, it's a Warner subsidiary.
Yeah.
And I was just really floored. I felt very grateful. You know, I hope I don't come off as egotistical. I don't mean to be that way, but I was
not at all.
I just couldn't believe it.
I mean, it's a very exciting thing. It's you know, I would have been flabbergasted and shocked and probably fell on the floor.
Yeah. It was what, you know, what we've all toiled in clubs. I know a lot of folks, like you had Dan Parcells on the show, you know, a lot of my friends, Mikey Primadonna, you know, we came up with them through the club scene, and so many other great bands, you know, and I don't know, I just fell into this, you know, and you just take the opportunity and you do it, you know. I was lucky.
So when you guys get on the Deco, you put out the first EP. Did you have all those songs all together? Did you guys just figure, all right, it's gonna be a 1 EP, or how did that whole thing? Because then you released another one a few months later. It was like,
right, and then we did this, right, the cassette.
How about that?
Yeah, that came about. So just to answer your question, we wanted, I think with Deco, we wanted to find something that was kind of like a nostalgic tape trading experience. And I think TK walked into Walmart and he saw a cassette player and blank cassette tapes.
Okay.
And he was like, really? Like, are kids doing this? Like, you know, everything kind of comes around again. So that's why we did a bundle with a cassette and a t-shirt. You know, it's just like a novelty, like a collector type of thing, back to the old tape trading.
Absolutely.
But Deco wanted to basically, you know, just trickle it out, you know, because here today, what did Diamond Dave always say? Here today, gone later today. You know, and that's what it is. So many great projects now are just gone. They shoot the wad, and then it's gone.
I've said that saying many times over the last 5 to 8 years in interviews.
You know, it's sad, because I think that people aren't really buying the physical product, you know, and that's why we made a conscious effort to have CD. We're big audiophiles. Like, I think CDs sound better than streaming, you know. But, you know, you got to also understand that it takes a lot of work. Do they even have CD players anymore? I mean,
Not in
right?
cars.
Not in cars,
Not in
right?
cars, right?
You know? So, I mean, but I just think that there's something to, like, that's why Dave, put out his weekly thing.
Mhm.
And to plug him, I'm working in his solo band as well.
Yes.
So he has another CD that's going to be coming out.
Oh,
And
awesome.
there's also a show at the Sellersville Theater. He's playing with Teeze. And I'm in a cover band called the Defiance. And there's also Dog Bite Money. So it's going to be kind of weird because I'm going to be in the middle there watching Dave. We're usually in the band together. But
Right, right.
anyway, strange. So, but yeah, we wanted the label just thought that they wanted to make a concerted effort to trickle stuff out.
It's the way to do it.
Yeah, just keep it in people's conscious,
Yeah, and it's it's weird. Like I mentioned this earlier in my interview earlier today. Um, Something I learned, a few months back in an interview, and then it like clicked in my head. I'm like, oh, now I get it. It's all because of this whole world of streaming.
Yeah.
And the big thing now is, to get into playlist on Spotify.
Sure.
So after it's either 30 or 45 days, your song isn't eligible to be on those playlists now.
Got it.
So you got to put out another one in 30 to 45 days to get back onto the playlist. So it's all about playlist and stuff like that. And
algorithms.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And that's where the business is now. It's all algorithms and streams and playlists and nobody has a physical product that they're actually listening to.
1980. I remember my uncle, I think he had a beautiful sky blue Nova and he would wash it like on a beautiful spring day or whatever. I threw up in the car one time too. He gave me too much high C orange or something. And he was like, "You're never getting in this goddamn car again." So, but I remember, we speak about early music memories. He loved it all. He loved Nugent, Rush, Van Halen, AC/DC, Ozzy. I remember him washing the car and first the Blizzard of Oz record, and I feel like I've been playing guitar and, a musician, like before I even started playing an instrument. It's weird, man. I don't know. I just I think of myself as a fan more than a musician. I think a lot of musicians lose that.
I agree. And it's funny because you can see the ones that are still the fans and it's enjoyable to see that.
Yeah. Exactly. I couldn't go up there. I tried in Sugar Bitch to be the badass and, wear the makeup and, the red vinyl pants. And, but now I kind of feel like, you just got to be yourself.
Yeah.
And I think you find that after a while, and I feel like I've made strides with that. And, again, thanks to TK, to Dave, all these people, I consider them, really important in my development as a musician.
Absolutely.
So
I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
so then why, because basically what they did now at Deco, so they took the two EPs and combined it into one. So why was, what was the thought process behind that?
Well, we had a little sinister plan.
Okay.
We were also going to release demos on there of the ghost vocal tracks of me singing.
Oh, okay.
So there's actually ghost vocal stuff like demos of the song Solar Storm, Leviathan, and Waves, which became It's Their World.
Oh, okay.
So, and there's some other goody stuff, in there as well. I think that we're going to start, we've got some rehearsal stuff and just, kind of neat things. You asked about a tour or, like, is it a band? It's
and will there ever be any shows?
Yeah. Like, are we Toto? You know what I mean? Like, just go in and blow a whole bunch of stuff out, record on Thriller or whatever, but it's a possibility. I don't think we've ruled that out. I think that we probably would do some very concentrated shows, like just maybe one or two a year.
Yeah.
Or something, and make it a big event.
Sure.
I think Ripper's in Ohio, and he comes around in PA a lot.
He was just in Jersey. Delaware the other night.
Delaware, yeah. So, you got to pay somebody. You got to pay that cat. and that's fine. But that could be in the works, and I feel like these songs really, it'd be cool to hear them live.
Totally.
So
I mean, and that's one thing, and I say this to anybody and everybody. I mean, let's face it. You get into music, you're writing and you're recording and putting this stuff together, but you want to experience the feeling of playing those songs live in front of people.
yeah, I mean, I think that's a lost art today. I mean, people don't really, they just want instant gratification all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing, I was so used to hearing the track that when I heard it live, it was a letdown sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a couple of bands for me that weren't a letdown, like Live and Dangerous, Thin Lizzy, UFO, Strangers in the Night. Those, I could mention a couple of them, but those weren't letdowns to me. But there was a lot of studio, who knows? Unleashed in the East, of course.
Yeah.
There was a lot of studio. Frampton Comes Alive, Kiss. I mean, my God, Kiss, Alive and Alive 2. I heard that they used, did you hear this? They used football stadium music on Alive, or football stadium crowd on Alive 2.
Yeah. It's funny too, because as a kid, you don't have no idea. It's like you're hearing that crowd and you're like, oh my God. And even hearing them, but now you go back and you listen to it, you're like, oh my God. You can hear all the sounds punched in, and the crowd noise and the overdubs, and it's like, wow, like,
I know. I feel like Alive was more real.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. That was awesome. You heard the bombs go off and everything. But I mean, again, I'm just a huge fan. I came into it late. A lot of people, I had a friend Eric, and he would and my friend Dave Hudson. These guys would, like, I remember they introduced me to like the TNT Knights of New Thunder record, or
amazing.
Amazing, like, talk about melody, and it was just classic power metal, classic, just Sabotage. Just I have a whole bunch of CDs over here somewhere that hardly ever get played, but then after a while, I kind of got burned out on it, and I started listening to, like, this is going to sound blasphemous to, here I am promoting a metal release, but I would start listening to stuff like Steely Dan, or whatever. I mean, I needed a break. I needed to branch out. I needed to get some chops. I started playing like Larry Carlton, instead of, Glenn Tipton or something. You know what I mean? Not that I could play like Glenn Tipton or Larry Carlton, but you know what I mean? Like, just little flavors of stuff that were, I don't know. You just grab. I spent time with every single guitar hero on the face of God's green earth, and a lot of vocalists, and a lot of, Lou Graham's one of my favorites. I don't know, just the way that the delivery and the there's some balls there. It's almost like proto metal.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the metal guys took that, a lot of the hair, like some of the hair metal.
For sure.
And use that. So, but yeah, anyway, I digress.
So now that the full length is out, and the 2 EPs and that evolved into the full length, will there be more?
That's a great question. We already have some stuff in the works. So TK will just, we'll talk on the phone. Like, we talk on the phone probably 2 or 3 times a week. And sometimes it's a bitch session. Other times it's, we have our ups and downs. This navigation through the music world it's not easy, but it's cool. If you work together, you can boost each other up, and I think we do that well for each other. I try to, I'm always kind of like the optimistic cat. Probably pisses him off sometimes, like, stop being so happy. But we have a couple new tunes that are in the can. He'll say, hey, I'm working on one. And here's a funny story. I said, we really could use like a Priest ballad or something. I think Tim could sing the hell out of it, So he said, here, I wrote this thing. He calls me one day. He's so excited. I wrote this, like, Last Rose of Summer / oh gosh, I don't know, whatever, priest tune or whatever, like a ballad. And I was
Okay.
like, wow, oh yeah, perfect. Send it over. So he sent it over to me. He's like, yeah, work your magic, do the lyrics, do the melody. I sent it back to him. And then I went on vacation. So it took my family to a water park or something.
Okay.
And I didn't hear from him. And I'm like, this is weird. Like usually I get feedback,
Uh-huh.
like even change a couple lines here. It was nothing, So I'm like, I was laughing, like I don't, if it sucked, I had a feeling that he probably thought that it wasn't, just up to par. It wasn't what he was thinking, So I remember talking to him. I was like, hey man, if that, I called him up or he called me, I forget, whatever. We were talking about the merchandise stuff. And he goes, I said, hey, that song, if it sucks, just let me know. And he goes, yeah, I've been thinking about that. And I'm trying to do the TK. I don't know if I good at impression, but yeah, man. I've been thinking about that. And, I kind of wanted a priest tune and it sounded like a foreigner love song. But I laughed, there's no ego. Like I said, oh
Right.
man, okay, now I know. Well, that sucks, and he goes, no, it's okay. He had to let it sit for a while.
Yeah.
And this is why the collab is great, because you have to have thick skin.
Sure.
You're really a session person, and session people are paid, or not paid in my case, but anyway, paid to deliver what people are feeling, what they want, what the artist wants. So it's paramount. You have to put that above what I feel like I have pretty good indication of stuff, but it taught us that we needed to maybe kind of up the ante on the communication part.
Nice. It was a lesson.
It was a lesson.
Yeah. There you go.
So I thought that was really cool. And I feel like with Dave, he would never use the word, like Weakley would never use the word, oh, this blows or this sucks or whatever. He might be thinking it, the bubble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he's such a great diplomat that he'll say things like, it's funny. I'm hearing the verse. You have the chorus. I'm hearing that as a verse, or, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to be able to have the maturity, and sometimes it hurts, man. Sometimes it's like smack.
Yeah.
You're putting your blood, sweat, and tears, and you got that demo-itis going, and then it just turns out to be like, they think it's a fart, basically, pimple on the ass of their tune, so to speak. But you just say, all right, well, do you want me to try to do it again?
Right.
I can do that now. I know more of what you're looking for. Let's do it.
So did you end up redoing that track?
So that's in the works.
Okay.
And I think he sent it to Tim. I'm not sure where we are with that, but Tim usually gets it back to him. I think he's got some stuff. Even TK, he's like a squirrel with some things. He has stuff in the works, Right. He's got that plan, that master plan. And I think we want to try to, obviously it'd be great to do another record. It depends on availability of Tim. It depends on, what we can do in terms of, keeping this thing going with from a songwriting point of view. But I'm pretty confident. I think we could come out with some good stuff again for volume 2.
I think so too. I have no doubt. Now, will there be like any? I guess it'd be kind of hard, but I think there's like a lyric video out, or
there's a couple of them.
Yeah. Well, there won't be like no official video, or
I don't think so. Not like a KK's Priest level.
Yeah.
Deco's been kind to us. Like they do have like a PR department, and they pump stuff out on their Instagram and everything, which has been really, really great. Charlie, who's kind of basically like our A&R guy.
Okay.
There has been really supportive. Deco, like they have a lot of people. Like they have Carmine. Is it a piece? I can never. Appice, a piece. I always get that wrong.
It's either or.
Okay.
If you it's funny because I interviewed Carmine and Vinny. I asked them both, and they either or.
Okay. And then we have some people from Blue Oyster called Tiffany. I think we're alone now, Fame.
Yeah.
That's my label mate.
Yeah.
But she's a badass chick. She's got it going on.
Yeah, she's got a. Johnny and Scott. Well, Scott just left LA Guns, but Johnny and Scott from LA Guns are
Yeah,
in her band, and she's doing more rock stuff now. Yeah,
it's a hot band. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Got Dave Bickler, original Survivor singer. He was
Hmm.
the Eye of the Tiger guy. So I feel like, there's some street cred,
Yeah,
there with
yeah,
that, which is nice. And, they also are kind of like all over the map. So they have
yeah.
some rap artists.
Hmm.
And we also have a Brazilian label subsidiary called Hellion Records in
Okay.
Brazil that's releasing it in South America.
Oh,
I feel
nice.
like South America is a rabid
Hmm.
audience for metal,
Yeah.
you know?
That's that. I think that's where that will really would blow up is overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah, over there, like Germany, areas
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And I think it's cargo over there, but we have bundles available if you go to Deco's website, decoentertainment.com, you'll see there's bundles where you can
Hmm.
get the CD, like a signed CD, get a t-shirt and, some other swag, there like that. You can also hit us up and whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm over the moon with this, man. I never thought that, it's not, none of us are going to get rich,
Right.
but it's just cool to have something out across the world,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's something that in reality you guys didn't go and do yourselves. Deco did all that for you and put it out.
Yeah, and I think with Chip, he was the one that really did like a lot of the early press release stuff, just
Hmm.
fired it everywhere. Tommy's done a lot of interviews. I've
Hmm.
done some interviews, and we're just trying to spread the word. And I think a lot of people, like with Ripper, he has also been amazing. Like, he basically let us use his name to get the deal.
Right.
I mean, he could have been like, shut it down.
Yeah.
But he's a nice cat, and he's a really nice guy,
That's cool.
and he's done a lot to help us and pump it. And not for nothing, I think he digs it too. I think he's proud of it too.
That's
I hope
awesome.
he is. Yeah.
I'm sure he is, or like you said, he would have said shut it down.
Yeah. Shut it down completely. Right. Yeah.
He would have had a flashback to the bar rescue episode when Tapper was shutting it down.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing, man. I think you get into like you get the music thing, you got this disposable income,
Hmm.
and then a pandemic hits.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh crap.
Hmm.
What am I going to do? But I feel like he has, and a lot of musicians have really found ways, just like you and I have, to
Exactly.
move it forward. New
That's it.
opportunities, right?
That's it. Like we were talking before, and in the long run, it's all been a blessing.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, hashtag grateful, you know?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's the whole thing. And I just, a shout out to all my friends for being so kind and supportive. I have people reaching out to me, on the social stuff, I've been getting nothing but great feedback. And, these are killer players,
Hmm.
So again, I'm just the lucky sod that got the opportunity. And I give a lot of credit to TK for rolling that and making it happen.
Right on.
He was the one who communicated with Deco and Chip and a lot of that stuff. So I just did I put the icing and the birthday candles on.
Well, I want to applaud you. Applaud TK. Yo, TK.
Yeah.
You don't talk to me no more? I think it's only been like probably 16, 17 years or however many.
Follow
But I
up.
have, see all the gray hairs I have from him not talking to me?
Is that what it is? I
That's what it
figured.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let him know. Don't worry. On the DL.
But Matt, hey, again, congrats. It's been great talking to you.
Thanks.
Where's the best place to send everybody so they can hear it, get it, and
Yeah. We have a YouTube channel. I think we're really using YouTube a lot for the forums. That's just Leviathan Project. If you type that in, you'll see the logo. It's like some kind of pseudo pentagram. I don't know. Don't tell the priest. But it's a cool logo. TK designed all that. And you can also go. So we have a website, leviathanproject.com.
Okay.
We have an Instagram handle, Leviathan Project, Facebook page. And then, again, like I said, you can get all the CD and everything is available everywhere. I saw it on Barnes and Noble, Amazon, any place where you can get, like they sell music across the world now. It's out there. So, which is really neat to see.
That's cool. Congrats, Matt. And hey, have fun this weekend.
Yeah.
Playing with the boys over at Teeze and Roughhouse. I'm It's one thing I miss being in Nashville is not seeing that band play.
You'll have to grab them sometime. Maybe have them come down there. That would be really cool.
I would love that. I've told them guys many times, my favorite band of all time.
Well, if you ever want to just have a session, I know you're busy and people are knocking down your door for interviews, but if you want to have like a shoot the shit session, just let me know. We can talk about everything from feeling special to, I don't know, the inner workings of cannibalism or, whatever you want to talk about.
Sounds good to me. I'm always down. I'll tell you what, honestly, God, you'd be surprised. Like, since I moved to Nashville, so many, there's like a handful of people who I was friends with, and now I'm like friends with, and we have like those discussions almost on a daily basis, and it's kind of shocking. But yeah,
I was on here blah 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 on about this project, but seriously, I mean, if there's ever, and you've got your really important guests, of course, but I think that would be kind of cool, for you to just have a session where even if there was a couple of us and we just had a round table. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Absolutely.
We're
gonna do it. I've done some where I've just come on here myself and just said, hey, who wants to come on and shoot the show?
Talk. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
They're fun.
Yeah.
I have to do it again. I'll give a heads up next time I do it.
Listen, thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely,
really appreciate it, Bay.
Absolutely. Thanks for reaching out, and take care, and say hi to the family.
You got it. Thanks again, buddy. Stay safe.
Yep, you too.
See ya.